Sonic the Hedgehog games on the Wii. The first Sonic game that was released on the Nintendo Wii is Sonic and the Secret Rings. Oh boy. Releasing in 2007, Sonic and the Secret Rings originally started out as a port of Sonic 06 for the Wii, but due to the hardware limitations of the Nintendo Wii, they just made an entirely new Sonic game for the console. And is it good? Well, I would be lying if I said it was. You know you messed up when your game is even worse than Sonic 06. Yes, I said it. Sonic 06 is better than Sonic and the Secret Rings. No doubt about that. Because even though Sonic 06 may be almost unplayable, it's at least funny unplayable. Sonic and the Secret Rings is just sad. The level design is boring and uninspired. And don't even get me started on the controls, because that is the main problem with Sonic and the Secret Rings. This is why the game is broken. Because I'm out here waggling the Wii remote like a maniac, and the game doesn't even want to respond to it. Shame on you, Sonic. At least I got this game for free. When I bought a copy of Cars 2 on the Wii, which by the way is a masterpiece of a game, I ended up receiving a copy that didn't work. So when I went back to the retro game store, instead of them just giving me my $5 back, they gave me my money back plus a free game. So I chose this game because it had Sonic on the cover and it looked fun. So when I popped the game in, I realized I should have just stayed with my broken Cars 2 copy. So Sonic and the Secret Rings, good music, good CGI cutscenes, good storybook cutscenes, bad everything else. Maybe one day I'll finish this game and make a whole review of it, but for now it's staying on my shelf and it's staying there forever.
Make believe reborn! Mutant man reborn!
Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. Holy shit! Sonic Riders Zero Gravity is a sequel to Sonic Riders on the Nintendo GameCube. The game released in 2008 for both the Wii and the PS2, surprisingly. Yeah, even though it's heavily based on the motion controls of the Nintendo Wii, it also got a port to the PS2. Cool, I guess. After all, the PlayStation 2 is the highest sold console of all time. And it didn't stop getting games until like 2013. FIFA 2013 is a game on the PS2. No joke. But yeah, that technically means that the Nintendo GameCube controller is also allowed on the Wii. Now the real question here is, why isn't there a GameCube version of Sonic Riders Zero Gravity? Well, I don't know. I guess it was to emphasize how good the motion controls were, and after beating this game all the way to the end, I never want to touch it again. Something that made the first Sonic Riders so special was its unique gameplay. It was very complex for sure, not something for beginners. But hey, that's what made the first game so special. But since the sequel was also meant to be played with the Wii remote, it also caused some setbacks for the gameplay. You know, you're not gonna have all the mechanics you had from the first game on here. I mean, just look at this Wii remote, it has like 3 buttons. And their solution was to simplify the gameplay. I mean, yeah, it's Sonic Riders, it's a Sonic Riders game, but it doesn't feel right. At least it's not as bad as Free Riders though, that's for sure. For Free Riders, I have to like do the Michael Jackson, you know? But yeah, all in all, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity is fine and nothing else. It's a serviceable game, not much more than that, which is fine, you know? It's a decent enough game. It's like a 5 out of 10, you know? For Sonic games, that's a 7. The name Anti-Gravity is pretty cool though. Like, I can make a rap song out of that.
No gravity up in here, now it's time to face your fears. Jump the race, we gotta clear, the damage won't be severe.
Oh my god, sir, what happened? Why is your house burning down? I tried to play Sonic Unleashed and it was too peak, man. There are only a few words I can use to describe Sonic Unleashed.
Peak fiction. Goat. Raw. Fire.
Sonic Unleashed is easily the best Sonic game in my opinion. An immersive masterpiece that I'll definitely get to talking about some other day. But today I'm not talking about the version I like, today I'm talking about the Wii version. Alright, let's give the Wii version some credit here. At least it's not as bad as the mobile version. Yes, back in the day there was a Sonic Unleashed mobile version. It was made exclusively for Java phones and it looked like this. But today we're not talking about that garbage, today we're talking about this garbage. Much like Zero Gravity, this version of the game was also released on the PS2. To quote Shigeru Miyamoto, Sonic Unleashed on the Wii is a great value version of Sonic Unleashed, mid-AF. And yeah, I can't really say it better myself. Sonic Unleashed on the Wii was developed by Dimps. You may know them as the developers who did the Sonic Rush games and Sonic Advance games. They also made this dumpster fire, but that was like 2 years after, so I'll give it a pass. Anyways, this version of the game is obviously completely different to the HD one. Like if the Xbox 360 and PS3 had struggles with Sonic Unleashed, imagine the Wii, a toaster, running the game. You can't use a toaster, man, you gotta use a grill. So the PS3.
Let him cook now! Let him cook! Let him cook!
But yeah, the Wii version of Sonic Unleashed is very different compared to the original, for better and for worse. First off, the Werehog levels that used to be like 30 minutes in the original are now shorter. Now the Werehog levels are around 10 minutes long, which pacing wise I think it's better. However, the Werehog levels in the Wii version are way worse than the original. I know some people didn't like the original version of the Werehog, but I thought it was okay, you know, I thought it was a fun little combat experience. An overly long combat experience, but at least it wasn't dreadful. And here they're just kinda boring. And the Wii remote is not really that fun to use in combat. However, However, switching it over to the daytime levels are actually kind of fun. I thought the new take on the boost meter was kind of cool, and the level design was mostly alright. It's not something to write home about, but for a great value version of the game, it's actually not that bad. This was definitely a surprise among many bad Sonic Wii games, and I'm sure the next Sonic Boost game on the Wii is also gonna be pretty good. But before we talk about that game, we gotta talk about this game. You may be wondering a few things. 1. Why does Sonic and the Secret Rings have a sequel? And 2. Why does it go so hard? Sonic and the Black Knight is a 2009 video game that goes really hard for some reason. In this game, Sonic becomes King Arthur and has a talking sword. Very weird, right? It's a Sonic storybook game. So yeah, technically this and Sonic and the Secret Rings are brothers, but they have barely anything to do with each other. They're more like stepbrothers if you think about it. But the one thing that connects these two games together is the theming and the art style. And maybe the gameplay, but we'll get to that in a second. Most likely the best part of Sonic and the Secret Rings was the cutscenes. They had this really cool storybook art style, and I thought it was really unique. So seeing it carry over to this game with much better writing is cool to see. The voice acting is top notch in this game, and the music is incredible as always. But the one downside is kind of the gameplay. It is a big improvement from Sonic and the Secret Rings, which I salute. Great. The only issue is that the gameplay was not that fun to begin with, so yeah, all in all, Sonic and the Black Knight is trying its hardest to be a good game, and I respect that. It had some great ideas, but it sadly lagged behind a pretty mediocre Wii game, and that's kinda sad. After finding a great new gameplay style with Sonic Unleashed's daytime stages, Sonic team decided to make a game fully focused on the boost gameplay, and this game would be later known as Sonic Colors. Despite the game being praised when it first released, the game has become exceptionally unpopular with the Sonic fanbase in the recent years, mainly due to the fact that this game was the main culprit on who killed the Sonic series' dark side, as the game was being served as a soft reboot to the series, by absolutely ignoring every other character in the series besides Sonic, Tails, and Eggman, while also including a more lighthearted story. This was very polarizing to any fan of the darker side of the series, and even though that kinda sucks, Sonic Colors is still a solid game. It has a good amount of problems, don't get me wrong, but I can certainly see why it was such a refreshing change of pace back in the day. This game promises no BS, it's just Sonic and Sonic, that's it. You see, now it's appreciated, but back in the 2000s, people didn't like the Werehog, they didn't like the Knight stuff, they didn't like Shadow having a gun or multiple playable characters, they just wanted to play some Sonic. And this game gave them that, by grabbing some of the best elements of Sonic Unleashed and mixing it with more standard 2D gameplay, giving us the dreadful 2.5D Sonic game. So yeah, Sonic Colors is very polarizing nowadays, but back in the day, you gotta understand, this is what the people wanted. Me personally, I think Sonic Colors is fine. It may be inoffensive, basic, and even annoying at some points, but at least it brought many cool ideas to the table that people don't give it enough credit for. The Wisp abilities were new to this game, and they were kinda cool for these levels, and these levels only. Like for real, what was Sonic Team's obsession with the Wisp during the 2010s? But yeah, in Sonic Colors, the Wisp were good. Sure, you could replace a few of them, the hover Wisp with Tails, or the Spike one with the Spin Dash, but it's fine, you know, some of these are fun, like the Drill one. Who doesn't love some good old drill? Speaking of drill, the OST is filled with bangers. Like for real, some of this music is crazy. Like, no wonder this game is set in space, cause the music is out of this world, bruh. The level themes are also really cool here. Very creative ones like Tropical Resort, Planet Wisp, and Starlight Carnival, just to name a few. Now, there is a little problem with this game, and that is the structure of the levels. Each planet has 6 acts, and in my opinion, that's really dumb. It should either be 2 or 3, because the pattern here is that the first 2 levels are really good, and then the rest is just padding out the game. Another flaw is the boss fights. They're extremely short and easy. They also lack any real substance, resulting in them being forgettable. Like for real, I almost forgot to talk about the boss fights, because I didn't remember any. However, I do remember the song of the Planet Wisp boss, because it is fire, bro. I know Sonic games on the Wii don't stop there. There's also the Sonic and All-Stars Racing game, as well as the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. So if there's a Sonic game on the Wii that I did not mention, I'm probably gonna make a video on it sooner or later. I already got a Mario and Sonic Olympic Games video if you want to watch it, so yeah, go right ahead. But as of now, thank you all for watching today's video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Comment, like, and subscribe. And always remember, never go to Detroit. And if you live in Detroit, get out of there.